Here with Concordia head tennis coach Cam Long to preview the seasons that are quickly coming up. You got started a little bit in the fall, but most of it will be this spring. You took on this role officially, I guess, in the summer. What did you just find exciting about the opportunity that you have here at Concordia?
Yeah, I think, to start off, it's good to be here. First head coaching role, so that's really exciting. But yeah, I think looking into the tennis program a little bit, it was easy to tell that it's been on the rise in the last few years. I know the men had some success last year, making it to the conference championship match for the first time, and the women had a share of the conference title in the regular season too. So I believe that was a first as well, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, I think those things were really good to see, and it's been a good transition. The people here have been really good to work with, and the players have been great too. So yeah, we've off to a good start.
Well, I know you grew up around college athletics with your dad being heavily involved, an athletic director at another NAIA school. But how did that background maybe impact your career path and wanting to be in this world of college athletics?
Yeah, to be quite frank, I don't think there's ever anything else I wanted to do. I think when I was way back going into college, I kind of maybe explored some opportunities in my head, but never really pursued them because I kind of knew which path I wanted to take. I didn't know it was ultimately going to lead to coaching, but I knew it was going to be probably something athletics related. So, but yeah, I like to compete. I like all sports. I'm not just a tennis guy, even though I'm the tennis coach. But yeah, it's really fun to come to work every day and work in an environment around sports like this. And that's what's really fun for me.
Well, you already mentioned that the program's had some success last year. How about as far as just the people, from a people perspective? What were some of your impressions of the student athletes that you've gotten to work with so far?
They work hard. I think the men's team, they've been, telling me how much they want to practice, and they've been asking to practice more when possible. So, even sometimes when the women are practicing and there's empty courts, the men will come out and they'll just get extra court time on their own. The women have done the same thing. They've actually asked me to do some more running in practice, which, I wasn't expecting them to ask for. So that's really good. I like to see that work ethic. And yeah, they've been a really hardworking group. So just seeing that's really exciting. I think the men's and the women's teams are in really different spots right now. Just with the men's team having a lot of seniors and the women's team having a lot of underclassmen. So, but just seeing that overall work ethic and just kind of the community that we've built so far. It's been good to see, and I think our first match is a little over 2 weeks away, and we're more than ready for that. I think we want to start playing somebody other than ourselves. So
let's start with the men's team in particular. Back in the fall, you had a couple tournaments, a couple dual meets as well. What were some of the takeaways from that, and things maybe you have realized you needed to focus on going into the spring?
Yeah, I think the biggest takeaway for me is that we're close. I know last year, I already mentioned it, but they made the conference championship match for the first time. Didn't win, but they were close, and I think that was the theme for us in the fall too, because we started off with Iowa Central, who's, they were top 10 JUCO team last year, and we played a lot of close matches. We didn't win, but it was close. And then we played William Jewell again, as they did last year, Division II school. Didn't win that one, but once again, it was close. So I think That's a big one for me. Is just kind of we know we're right there, and we just we need to start thinking that we're going to win. Rather than we can compete and keep it close. I think our mindset going in is like we're going to win today, and I think that's the big one that I'm trying to work on too. I guess from maybe a technical standpoint is doubles play, especially. I think NAIA rules are something that's new to me coming from a Division III background where the doubles is only worth 1 point, but it's a big point, especially because when we are that close to the other teams, there's going to be probably a good number of matches where each team wins 3 out of the 6 singles, so the doubles point's going to be the tiebreaker. So that's been the big one for me this spring, is figuring out a doubles lineup that's going to win 2 out of the 3 doubles matches.
Mm-hmm. Well, same thing with the women. I had a similar setup back in the fall. What did you learn about that group, and how are things progressing so far this spring semester?
Good. I think they've been a group that didn't have nearly as much experience as the men. Right now we have 8 on the roster, and 4 of them are freshmen and 2 of them are sophomores. So I think learning is kind of the word I've been using with them. We just need to keep learning as we go. We'll play this spring. We'll play a lot of tough teams, and I think that will be really good for them to just see some different opponents, some different styles of play. Maybe something they didn't experience before in high school. So, just learning how we can win those matches against players with different styles of play is going to be huge for our confidence moving forward, and ultimately will help us achieve our goals at the end of the spring when our conference season rolls around. So that's what I've gotten out of the women's team so far.
Kind of shifting back and forth a little bit, but you talked about the experience with the men's team. You've got Berryman, Bindle, Howes, Kitson. They've all played a lot of college tennis. How has that helped your transition and having a lot of veterans you can lean on like that? Yeah,
it's been really good. I think having that maturity is really helpful, especially coming in as a first year coach. Just having guys who've been around for a long time. It's been super helpful. I know they're a group that we have a lot of underclassmen too. We have 3 freshmen who I think can make an impact too, and I think having them, having 4 seniors like that to look up to has been really good and helpful. I think they really drive the personality on the team. They like to joke around and have fun a lot in practice. The other day they started calling themselves the Core 4. Don't really know what that means, but yeah, they just like to have fun, and I think the underclassmen are really seeing that. They can have fun and work really hard at the same time. So yeah, they've been really helpful, and just had some really great leadership so far.
Mm-hmm. I guess on the women's side, some of the more experienced players would be like Tara Farrell and Sophia Morales, and Sophia has right away kind of played at the top of the lineup. What have you seen from her development?
Yeah, I think that's the plan moving forward, is having her near the top again, and yeah, she's been working hard as well. They all have, to be honest. I think similar to what I said about the men, is just with them is working to they all have great shots from the baseline and can rally with really anybody. So I think focusing on doubles play, moving forward, hitting some more volleys. I think that's the stuff that I think we've gotten better at. I think we can still get better at. And in terms of development, Sophia's played a lot of close matches over her career. I guess it's only her sophomore year, but yeah, last year she was involved in a lot of close matches, and yet being thrown into #1 singles right away, there's not going to be an easy match in the conference or even out of conference. So she's really strong mentally. I never have to worry about her going out there and giving her all or competing, and that's really gives me some peace of mind too, that I can put my focus on the team as a whole, and trust her that she's going to go out there and give her all.
I don't know what, like you said, maybe the men are in a little bit different place than the women just because of experience. But
yeah.
What do you talk about in terms of expectations, or you guys just try and kind of get better and wait and see how things fall into place?
I think the answer to that is both. I mean, when you lose in the conference championship match, naturally the next year the goal is to win the championship. So that's our goal, and I think it's okay for me to say it because it's obvious, and they know that. That's something we're working towards. But at the same time, I've talked to them about this. Like, we don't need to worry about any other team specifically. Like, those teams that were at the top of the conference with us last year, like Midland, Doane. We don't really need to worry about them. We just need to worry about ourselves and get better. I think, if we start thinking about those two teams and the other teams in the conference too, that I don't think that really helps our confidence. I just want them to see when we play those teams at the end of March, beginning of April, I want our guys to look at ourselves and see how far we've come, and not how we stack up against those teams. We need to be thinking about ourselves, and not in our own heads thinking about our opponent too much. So
I guess last thing, you have a pretty ambitious spring schedule in terms of the quantity of matches. It looks like some quality opponents outside of conference as well. What are you most looking forward to about this spring?
Honestly, just getting out there and playing. It's been a long preseason. We started back on January 10th, and our first match is February 19th. So that's a long time to practice. So I'm just looking forward to getting out there and playing. Obviously I'm looking forward to hopefully having some success too, because that part will make it fun. But yeah, just getting out there and playing, competing as a team, building that team chemistry. And the schedule we're going to play non-conference is pretty tough. So that's only going to help us in the long run. Seeing good opponents and then playing our conference schedule, against the teams in our conference that are going to be good, which is, every team's going to have quality individuals. So I think we're going to be ready. So that's what I'm looking forward to, is just playing matches and then hopefully having some success in the conference.